Dia tengah loading. Okay. So, Assalamualaikum. Good morning to all of you. So for today, our class for AVA SIG 35. First, before we proceed for the next lecture, on next topic for selected global environmental conflict mitigations, let's we recap last 2 weeks topics before your midterm break. Okay, for topic key global environmental conventions, one of the topic is covered for UNFCCC. Okay, UNFCCC is stand for Huzaimi. UNFCCC, United Nations. Atikah, Akilah, Nafisah, UNFCCC. What is UNFCCC? It stands for United Nations. Siti Maisara. Or anybody you want to try? UNFCCC is stand for.
I would like to try. United Nations System Staff.
No, United Nation, UNFCCC, United Nation.
Miss.
Yeah.
United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change.
Yeah, thank you, Siti Maisara. Is it your Siti Maisara?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Siti. United Nations Framework Climate Change. For UNFCCC, actually, that convention is just focused on 100%. Actually, is focused on climate change issues, global issues into climate change. This goes to focus on zero pollutions for atmosphere. And to reduce, at least to reduce the pollutions, to make orang kata kurang lah, less for climate change issues. Then we have a discussion about multiples about the International Convention for the prevents the pollution from ships. Any pollution from ship like oil, especially oil, and then any waste to the oceans for multiple 1973. Okay, last 2 weeks for we just recap for last 2 weeks topics. So for today, very interesting topics is about the mitigations for global environmental conflicts. It's more to case studies actually. So you can see a few countries that can be impact to environments from the industry, from the agricultures. Okay, hopefully you can see the slide. Okay, now we go to first chapters. Okay, for learnings outcomes, okay, we just focus a few countries for global environmental conflict mitigations. Then we have a UK, United Kingdoms, Africa, and a few countries under Europe. Okay, first we go to air pollution in the United Kingdoms. Okay, as you know, pollution from air pollution is from industry and from logistic or transportation, like a car, trucks, or bus. They have emissions, carbon dioxide emissions, so they can be effect to air pollutions. Okay, these are the view from United Kingdoms, air pollution in United Kingdoms. Okay, I want to share with you the video. It's like a case studies. Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
If only the air quality were better in London, Rosamund Kissy Deborah's daughter might still be alive today. Ella was almost 7 when she suddenly became very ill.
My late daughter is Ella Roberta, and she had one of the worst cases of asthma ever recorded in this country. So it started in October, signs of a cold, a cough that sounded like whooping cough, and her first admission or her first coma or seizure was in December. It was linked to air pollution, and through my research I found out that air pollution, it affects millions worldwide.
Until she fell ill, Ella was a completely healthy child and very sporty. She loved swimming and football and also played several instruments. The asthma changed everything.
My life was rushing to work and then always having my phone near me in case her school rang to say her lungs had collapsed.
Ella suffered for 2 years before dying of an asthma attack. Her mother became an activist. With the help of doctors and lawyers, she was able to prove that her daughter's asthma was particularly bad on days when the air pollution was extremely high.
I wanted it officially recognised. I thought, for all she suffered, she deserved that. 28 months of her suffocating in her mucus, basically. She deserved to have that moment. I don't want other children in this country to go through what my late daughter went through.
London has a problem. Most of the city exceeds the World Health Organization's air pollution limits. Many of the famous black cabs run on diesel, which is particularly bad for air quality. Hundreds of Londoners end up in the emergency room each year because of toxic air. The Mayor Sadiq Khan has introduced countermeasures and stiff charges for drivers with older, more polluting cars. But it's not enough.
We've shown the way with some world-leading policies, from the world's first ultra-low emission zone to a record number of electric buses, increasing hugely the number of charging points, and I'm hoping for a green recovery as we come out of this pandemic.
The capital urgently needs clean air, particularly for the children. St. Mary's School is on one of the worst polluted roads in southern London. Parents have decided to take matters into their own hands. Ella's death was one of the driving factors.
It just sort of confirmed our fears. We knew, everybody knows, everybody knows it's bad, and everybody knows it's bad for children. They're growing up, their lungs needs to develop, I remember taking my son to school one day and got into the playground, and the noise from the street was just deafening, these cars going by, 100,000 cars every day.
The parents crowdfunded almost £100,000 to buy air purifiers for the classrooms, as well as 12,000 plants for the schoolyard to act as natural air filters. Before, the children weren't allowed to play outside for more than 15 minutes.
I think it's a good thing because it might actually stop the air pollution coming into this school. They smell nice and that they give us air. Because our school is right next to a really busy road, so it helps us a lot.
But Rosamund Kizzy-Deborah thinks that more is needed.
Laws are what really matter, and children's rights definitely matter, and it is their right to breathe clean air, and all government should make that. I don't care how hard it is, by the way. I really don't care how hard it is. They can achieve that.
Rosamund Kizzy-Deborah knows that air pollution can be deadly. She will continue to fight in the name of her daughter so long as there are other children whose lives are at risk because of poor air quality.
Okay. So how you get about the videos? From the yeah? Anybody? What is the effect?
Okay, from the video, so I get that air pollution can affect millions of people, especially children. So because they have lower body immunity to combat the sickness, and then so they started to bring up the air filter or air purifier to help the children while studying at school.
Yeah, true.
So
Thank
for me.
you, Nafisa Akila. Yeah, thank you, Nafisa Akila. Yeah, Ella become moms want to fight about the issues of in air pollutions in London. Yeah, like Nafisa said, they have effect through respiratories for children because of they have a low immune for the health, so that they can be infected to their health issues, especially in urban areas like London, from the air pollution, from the transportation. They highlight the issue from the emission from the transportations. Lots of cars, bus, and motorcycles. So you can relate to the real situations. This is one of the case study. So we proceed for the next topics. Okay. 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 So the top two sources for the air pollution, the sources of emissions of air pollution, almost half of the emission from air pollution is come from industry. It's around 52%. So the rest is transportations at the London situations. Transportation 27%. And then we have the others like agriculture and consumers products like pesticide, agriculture 10%. One of the main factors from the air pollution is come from industries, 52%. Okay. So these petrol car emissions, as you know, we have hybrid now. For anybody using a hybrid car like the Serena, Nissan Serena, they have already a hybrid. So as you can see, the highest is the color is red colors. In India and South Africa, Australia, and Indonesia and China. The highest emissions from petrol car emissions. It can be impacts to air pollutions. So the rest and the lowest, and they're using hybrids, green technologies, like France, Brazil, Sweden, islands, and Paraguay. They are already using hybrid technology for environmental friendly. So next, as you can see, this is the effect of air pollution on plants from the rain acid. First, as you can see, they have a 0% effect from air pollution. It's still green and full, penuh lagi daun dan sebagainya. And then next, 30%. Makin berkurang, and then go to 70%, and it's very poor. Dah teruk sangat lah effect from rain acid. Okay. So the process, as you can see, the process from started from any human activities or nature activities also. From the nature activities, what's the example from the nature activities can be effect to air pollutions? Anybody? Can be Amirals. What's the nature sources? Or Huzaimi?
Doctor.
Yeah.
Maybe volcanoes.
Yeah, true. Volcanoes. Yeah, nature's effect can be from volcanoes into air pollution. Okay. Then, of course, we have a human aspect. Okay, like transportations, agricultures, industries. deforestations, okay, then the process go to atmosphere, and then effect to lapisan ozone lah, and then becoming rain acids and climate change and so on, okay. Next, we have the effect or the impact into human health. How does this effect is come from any sources from industry, for example, or transportation, like from the video. From the video, as you can see, the process is from any transportation or industries, and it can masuk melalui kita punya hidung, and then respiratories, and becoming a cancer or asthma, for example, like case study before this, or any effect to varicose. Okay, these are the factors, the factors of air pollution from human aspect. Okay, industry, mobile, urbanizations. Okay, next we have pollution and air or soil from agriculture, especially from the sources, the process of transportations, industry. Okay, acid rain from the air pollution is becoming acid rains. Acid rains can be in fact to our buildings, structure of the buildings, forestry. Okay, like this. Okay, this is the effect from the acid rain. Now from the buildings, the structure is a little bit diminished here. Okay, next we have a case study from the nuclear disasters at Chernobyl, Ukraine. From that case, these are real situations at the Ukraine, Chernobyl. Okay, from the case studies, okay, this is the effect from the map, from the GIS map actually. Okay, the area is covers the red colors, the highest the effects of the Ukraine's nuclears. Okay, the red colors is the highest scalar Richters. I'm not sure, maybe 1.4. The highest is 1.4 scalar Richters. It can be effect to apa tu orang kata like apa ni gegaran lah, effect to kedudukan structure of the buildings and then dia meletup keluar lah pada waktu itu. Yeah, this one the levels of the scalar Richters and the highest one is maybe the orange colors around 2.5 2.5 to 5 or 2 to 3.0 scalar Richters at Ukraine nuclear. Okay, and the effect from the nuclear disaster in Ukraine, one of the effect is of course the effect is to land use area, especially for urbans or any habitats. They can be effect to lands, economy impacts. Of course, they can be impacts to economy, how the process of the orang kata bina balik lah bangunan and then bina balik for the economy structures and process and then becoming the main issue is the health issues. It can be effect to cancer, birth defects. Some of the gen is the problems becomes of the from the nuclear radiations. They can be effect to gen S or gen Y. For example, like these pictures. Okay, this one. As you can see, baby tu dah effects lah dalam since her mom is pregnant, so that dia dapat radiative lah radiation from the nucleus So dia boleh effect tu kandungan baby tu, okay, from the chemical of the nucleus. Okay, these are diagrams. Okay, the effect like a flow map from the air pollution in UK. Before this, we have discussed with kat London tu kan, from the transportations and becoming emissions, and then next is becoming air pollutions and the effects like acid rain, damage of plants, polluted to urban areas, global warming, health issues like asthma. Next, we have environmental problems in South Asia. Okay, some of the countries like India, okay, Bangladesh. The key issue is loss of biodiversity. Of course, they want to build any urban areas. They want to build any constructions, for examples, so that they need to damage biodiversity, some of the biodiversity areas to make our urban areas. Then becoming pollutions like air pollutions, water pollutions. Okay, next we have Bihutan and Indian. Same also, they have a face for deforestation issues. Okay, like loss of the biodiversities. Okay. And then we have Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. The issues at Maldives, of course, not only in Maldives, but also in the other countries, climate change issues. And then for Nepal, they have the issue of deforestations, okay, water pollutions, okay. For Pakistan, they have a water pollution. Maybe you have go to case study for a few countries before this for subject EVAS 410 or 412 with Dr. Hidayana and Madams Liana. Okay, next, what else we have? Banaras, okay, one of the country that have issues in Indians for river of Ganges, Ganges River. They have some of the ceremonies from the Hindus. Ganges rivers, Ganges rivers in India. They believe that have a opportunity to build some of the carriers, good carriers untuk dapatkan anak and so on. They need to have mix some of the pollutions into Ganges, like you can see, Ganges rivers. Put some of the notes, put some of the food into the rivers, but it some of the effect to water pollutions, or the smile. Okay, that one is a scenario in Banaras, biological pollutions. Biological pollution relates to Ganges rivers, and then domestic waste. In Banaras, they have not proper toilets, for example. So somehow they put orang yang dah mati, dead bodies into the rivers. For example, into the Ganges rivers. Dia buang saja. Dia tak tanam, and then they just put down into the rivers. And then they have a chemical pollutions. Of course, is from industries. From industries, they have a pollutions from chemical pollutions. Chemical pollution is maybe to solid waste management, and they're not using a proper solid waste management. Like Malaysia, we have a proper schedule waste management. We have a SW into according to our Environmental Quality Acts. Like Banaras is not then actually not aware about the pollutions, so that they just put down into the rivers, buang macam tu saja, not properly managed for schedule waste management. Okay, this covers and let's air pollutions. becoming a floats. Somehow there's India areas they have a floats. Okay. Okay, so far, do you have any questions about the case studies?
Doctor,
Yeah.
I want to ask about the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Do we still get the effects from the nuclear itself if we go there right now?
No, actually not 100% because the effect around 1945, so a long times ago actually. So you just for health it's not the issue right now. The issue is like the structure of the buildings, the land use areas. Somehow they still have like landmark from the Ukraine's nuclears. You can see like a few places have still the structures of the buildings still damaged and dia tak repair lagi. The structures of the land use is still masih nampak lagi the kesan from the Ukraine nuclears. But for health issue, yeah, they have a loss of the periods, so that so far we don't have any issue about health issue, just only the physical issues according to buildings, land use, and so on. Okay, next questions. Maybe we can discuss deeps into our tutorial class. Maybe I can give you some of the case studies. Maybe you can write down simple reports from the case studies.